Hello, welcome back to How to Level Up Fast. So, I'm going to look at a couple more decks here. In the last episode, it's a pretty good one. You looked at Warlock. I looked at Warlock and Mage. But in this one, we'll look at two other decks that I really like about How to Level Up Fast. First one we got up on the screen here is the Shaman deck. This is a mech deck. It's also a Malygos deck. So, Malygos is like literally... if you are looking for legendaries, Malygos is a very good legendary to get. I mean, the stat line, look at that, spell damage +5, nothing else. You're never going to get that kind of spell power with anything else in the entire game. It's literally one of the very best legendary cards to get. So yeah. And this is the thing, it's important to get these good legendaries because there's new cards coming out this month. So you want to make sure you have a legendary like this because there will not be a card, right, that comes out that is better than this. There will be. Remember, each time if we can tell anything by the releases so far, right, what is going on is there's still, like, for instance, loads of people still have Ragnaros. Loads of people still have a lot of, like all the early cards like Harrison Jones, Alex Straza, Blood Mage Thanos. You're not going to see that many of the new. There will always be some newer legendaries that are important, but really, apart from what, you've got Tharisan, Loatheb. Loatheb isn't even that new. So, a lot of the old legendaries, just the old good legendaries. Malygos is one of them. It's an incredible card, right? You can do some insane stuff with this deck, right? Now, look, obviously. With Shaman, you need to get out. You want to get out totems, but you always want to look for your Mech Walker. Mech Walker plays early game. Early game, if you can get a Mech Walker, and then obviously it's got the synergy, right, with the Power Mace, yeah. So really, what you want to do, the best thing to Power Mace on, I've found the word special is the Arcane Nullify X21. So really, what you want to do is try to get out. Often what I like to do is I look at this turn 4 card. If I get this in my opening hand, I'll probably keep it. Now in the past, I would, my opinion was often, well, if it's three mana or less, I'm keeping my opening hand. And that was sort of the rule, right? But to keep this card is actually really, really good. Because what you can do is you can mess around in the early game, perhaps with Mech Warper and Annoytrons or something like that. And then you can just get out the Power Mace. And then what your opponent might think, well, okay, they've got say they've got like they say you've got like one of your sort of weaker minions on the board. You might also be putting out Manatine totems early game. That's the thing, Manatine totem is not a bad card. Especially early games, you want to build on your card. Sometimes you do want to do that. It's like the Manatine. This is basically like a bit like Northshire Cleric, really. It's not that different. But yeah, so your opponent may be busy with this sort of stuff, these sort of cards, right? Annoytron, Mech Warper, and then you're just hitting stuff with your Power Mace. So they're thinking, well, I want to clear off the board. Then when the Arcane Nullifier comes down, you can kill a minion sometimes, or trade out the last of your earlier minions, right? These two minions, and then you get 4/7 Arcane Nullifier that can't be targeted. And that is impossible. That is very difficult. That whole can't be targeted thing. I mean, okay, you can be silenced, but apart from being silenced, and even if it gets silenced, still a 2/5. But often it won't get silenced because, it just won't. It's not seen as like something to be silenced. That's the thing. It's like with Priest, right? With Injured Blade Master, you don't really want to silence it. There's no point really silencing it. Well, I suppose not quite the same because that's simply a health thing, and it's not really got any other effects. But even with this, it is sort of the same. It's like that same thing. You don't really want to silence this thing. And you can also obviously you've got a Defender Arliss, but yeah, this is you can see it's really about getting your tokens on board. With Shaman, you do play a lot of tokens. Your hero power is different to the others. I mean, apart from obviously Paladin, which obviously has got 1/1 tokens as well. These tokens are different though. Then you've got Healbot. And obviously you've got a lot of this. You know a lot of there's a lot of removal in here. There's the Earthshock for silence. Can be useful. I mean, Earthshock can be useful in a lot of different stuff. Let's be honest. I tell you one thing it's good for is the shielded mini bot. If you've got a spellbound totem, that kills it straight off the bat, and nothing else can kill a shielded mini bot straight off the bat like that. So that's good, and definitely worth doing something like that if you're looking for that early game control. Lightning bolt. Remember, of course, right, that you can do incredible damage. If you've got Malagos out and you've got just Malagos and a lightning bolt, that's an instant 8 damage. If you can build up Thurissant, one thing I would say with this deck, if you get Thurissant, even in your opening hand, probably keep it. Because think about it, if you've got Malagos, immediately, right, what's going to happen the first turn you have Malagos? If you have, say you have Malagos, Crackle and Lightning Bolt, you're going to have an 8 Malagos and a 1 Crackle. Yeah, the fact that Malagos will be 8 will mean that you can play Crackle with it even if you haven't got it in your hand. And obviously with 5 spell power, that's going to be 8 to 11 damage, which means that you're very likely to be able to win straight off the bat. Just with that. So if you have got Malagos, wait till you play Thurissant and then you can get Sand. Obviously you've got Sneed as well. That also works very well with the Power Mace and lots of good stuff in there. Okay, so the second deck I want to look at is Rogue. So yeah, Rogue is a pretty cool class. It's a class that I really enjoy playing. And yeah, so we'll look at the sort of Rogue stuff. So this Rogue deck is slightly different perhaps than some of the Rogue decks. Not hugely different, but you can't really play that different decks. So one of the important cards to have in a lot of Rogue decks, and the card that I like, Violet Teacher. Violet Teacher is a pretty cool card. If I get this in the opening hand, I'll probably keep it most of the time because you can get more and more stuff with it. Now you obviously have to be a little careful against Warrior when you're playing against the Patron, but yeah, you don't really want to do that. But you can still get away with it. Remember against Warrior also that you want to make sure you've got Blade Flurry. You can just do Deadly Poison. Also, there's actually ways to get. I play this deck a lot, so I really I'm pretty sick quite a lot about it. But yeah, sometimes right, you'll play a deck, and the reason I think about Warrior is because you play a deck and they'll just do nothing. That's not good enough, really. Yeah. So just start smacking them in the face. There's a good chance you'll actually be able to have enough power to win, right? Especially with Warrior, yeah. You do not want your Violet Teacher just to be shield slammed. Yeah, that's not what you want for your Violet Teacher. You do not want that just to be completely wasted because sometimes you have to put it out, and you might have an empty board or something like that. So you want to make sure that even if they can get rid of it, that they're using like an execute or something like that. You don't want this card to go to waste. And yeah, one of the important things to understand with Rogue is that Rogue is very the card draw is not easy for Rogue. It's much more difficult than with a lot of classes. It's sort of the card. It's quite. There's loads of stuff. For instance, in the Shaman, you've got minions that you can play anyway. You need your minions early game so you can control the board, right? So now you might think like. Often it's easy to think, oh yeah, I'll get preparation early on, but realistically you don't want to use preparation early on. Now what about Van Cleef? Well, think about it, right? I mean, there are certain plays where even Van Cleef, really with Rogue, it's just anything that you can do to win that you try and do, right? I mean, you could say, well, is like if I'm on turn 2, should I just coin Van Cleef? I mean, that's still a 4/4 for 3 mana. It's not bad. Remember, the important thing is not to view the legendary cards as sort of special cards. These are just cards you're using, right? Maybe I need another card. Maybe I should just dump down Thalnos. Sometimes that is what you have to do. You're not always going to get it perfectly situated how you want. Even at the beginning, you might think, well, it's turn 2, or turn 1, so I just coin into an auto barber. Maybe you should, because it will actually get you that ball control early on. Think about it. If they just dump down, I mean, if you haven't got the coin, they've dumped down a knife juggler. You can, if you're going to backstab that knife juggler, what do you want to do? The question is, do you want to just put your knives up? Do you want to get some ball control with the auto barber? Often it's actually a good idea to get that ball control. Even with SI7, you sometimes put that out with no combo, just to get that ball control. And if you've got a class you don't think is going to deal with it, what about Priest? Priest is going to come with their injured Blade Master straight away, and they're going to circular healing it straight away on turn 2. You've got Sap though to deal with it. But sometimes you don't want to do it straight away against Priest because you think, wait a minute, you know what they're doing. Sometimes you can just tell that they're gonna, they're just gonna buff that up with the +2/+4, aren't they, with the Priest? Or they're gonna bless their kings with the Paladin. They're gonna just stupidly buff it all up. Wait till it's that like 6/15 or something, or whatever it is, and then just sap it. Better yet, you could Violet Teacher sap it. You could Violet Teacher prep sap, yeah? But I will say with prep, often you want to use it with sprint, because that's 4 cards for 4 mana, which is obviously very good. Lower Theb can be used in a variety of situations. It can be used defensively, it can be used offensively. Sometimes you just want to, put it this way, it's not going to get fireballed if you play it before turn 9, is it? So yeah, that's just one. Well, just a thing about that. Now the Sharps with oil, which is the whole point of oil rogue, right? Really, you don't want to. If you can avoid it, don't play it with Violet Teachers on the board, because obviously you might not get it. Sometimes you're just literally using this as a finisher. You really don't want to use. The thing is, it's called oil rogue, but you really don't want to really be using it until you really feel that you're in a position to win, or at least clear the board. Obviously, you need to use it. It's good to use this Blade Flurry. Another thing to point out, right, is that Eviscerate. Sometimes you might need to use that really early on. You might need to use it non-combo just for 2 damage. You can clear the board though. It depends. Think about the opponent. Like, for example, there was a player against a Priest, and I had knives out, and it was early game, and I used it uncomboed and hit an Orso Cleric with a knife, and then they put down the Blade Master with the Circle Healing. So that was useless, basically. So I shouldn't have done that. So that's the moral of that story. Yeah. Don't worry about the North Cleric that much. Some of these early game cards, obviously if you're playing, you get the fucking 3/2 Wind Fury for 2 mana, Whirl, Zapper, whatever the fuck, then you don't want it there, because that's going to do 6 damage every turn. But something like the, even if they buff it up, against, I don't know why I'd be playing a lot of Priest, man. But yeah, don't worry about that too much. And what other class we got? Obviously, there's, I don't know. Certainly against the Warlock. Warlock can do pretty well against this, to be honest. I mean, Rogue Liz can do pretty well against the Warlock, rather. Fan of Knives is very useful against Warlock. And also it's good against Paladin. Remember, if they muster for battle, you can just do that. And again, if you've got combat, it's good. Thalnos, again, sometimes you might just need to use it for card draw. Honestly, you don't really want to use it for card draw. It's a very good card. And you can do some interesting things, for instance. You get Thalnos and the Azure Dracon, then you'll be able to get 3 damage. You'll be able to do 3 damage to all your enemy minions. With either a prep, if you've got 7 mana, or 7 mana, or 7, 8, or 9, and then if you've got 10 mana, you could actually not use a prep. And yeah, don't use prep unless you really need it. That would be my suggestion there. And yeah, Earth is fast. It can be useful for health. Sometimes it's good to have a 3 mana card out. Ideally, you do want to use it for health. SI7 is really the card you want early game. You want to be able to do things like, maybe they've got Spider Tank or something like that. You can just backstab coin, SI7, turn 2, and you've got complete control. Same, you can do sort of anything with 4 health. It's good, very, very. SI7 and backstab really work well. Yeah, because that's 4 damage from a very early game standpoint. A lot of classes will put down those 4 health creatures because they think you can't kill a 4 health creature. You might be able to kill a 3, but not a 4. But you can. If not, you might need to use knights there. Deadly Poison. Deadly Poison is the one card where you can sort of, this is not so bad to use it earlier on. You know, but again, you can sometimes use Tinkers as well. Obviously, that gives you 4 attack. Sometimes you can have to play uncomboed. Sometimes you do have to play things uncomboed. You have to play things more difficult. Van Cleef. Van Cleef can do really well, or it can do shit. It depends. Like I say, sometimes if you just do a coin Van Cleef, a 4/4 for 3, it's not bad. And then and then obviously less likely to get silenced as well. Yeah, basically the better it gets, the more likely it is to be silenced. But remember, not all decks really are going to have silence. There will always be something to deal with your stuff, but whether it's always silence is not always the case. With Druid, very likely. I mean, they always have it. They always have Keeper of the Grove, don't they? Yeah. A lot of other decks don't always have silence though. You can't always. That owl is not going to come out that often. I mean, what priest has Master Spell? None. So yeah, it's a good card, Van Cleef. Sprint's a good card. They're all good cards here. But really, with Rogue, you have to just play to win. So yeah, that's about it for this. Thanks for watching.